Hi, welcome back to the Mighty Musselman Newscast.
Here today we'll be doing a profile on Miss Price, and we're handing it over to Robert.
Hello, my name is Robert. Today we'll be interviewing Miss Price.
We're going to ask her just about some typical questions you would find out from teachers, find a little bit more about her, what she teaches, and how she teaches it. So first off, welcome to our newscast here.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
So how long have you been teaching overall?
Total 13 years. I've been here at Musselman High. This is my 10th year. I spent my first 3 years at Hedgesville High. Donate.
What brought you to Musselman specifically?
Honestly, the county was going through some teacher cuts, and my job got cut at Hedgesville, and I was low man on the totem pole, as they say, in terms of seniority. So I applied here at Musselman. They had an opening, and I got hired, thankfully.
What made you want to get into teaching to begin with?
Honestly, like I'd always, as I was growing up, kind of veered towards, oh, I think being a teacher would be cool. And then I really didn't decide to be a teacher until the end of my freshman year at college. I went to Shepherd University, and they put a lot of pressure on us to, decide what you want to be, and you want to look at a little bit of everything. So I finally decided to be a teacher at the end of my freshman year. One, I really liked history. So I was like, okay, what can I do where I can talk about history all day? So teaching. So that's how I kind of stumbled into it.
Do you think it's a little bit easier at all to teach a subject that you grew up enjoying, or do you think you would have enjoyed teaching as much if you taught something else like math or science, or not to put those subjects down or anything, but just something that maybe you didn't like as much as history?
Well, I hated math. Numbers are hard. So props to the math teachers and the math people. But I absolutely think so. I've noticed a lot of my teacher friends, a lot of us have a commonality in the sense that we liked school and we liked the subject that we taught when we were in school. And I had always loved history in school and out of school. I can remember my grandma always quizzing me on like West Virginia history facts and things like that. And actually, one of the big people who a lot of you guys may know, who is responsible, one of the individuals responsible for me becoming a teacher is actually Mr. Brown. Something a lot of people don't know is he was actually my teacher when I was in high school. When I went to Hedgesville, he used to work there, and I had him for civics, and we had a blast. And he was one of the big reasons that I chose to go into teaching.
So tell us a little bit just about your teaching style and how you get across to the students and how you figured that out.
Lots of trial and error. I think the biggest thing is I try to just be myself. But also I try to create an atmosphere where students feel comfortable coming to talk to me, because that's how I learn about them. And I know that students aren't always, forthcoming and opening to talking. So I just try to create like a easygoing atmosphere in my classroom, but still a hardworking atmosphere in my classroom. Like, we're here, we're all at work. My job as a teacher, their job as a student, and we have to get our things done for the day, but it's fun. It's good to have fun. I also like to do a lot of like simulation-based stuff, kind of applying what we talk about and learn in class to a project or an activity. A lot of you guys who've had me in the past will remember our atlatl throwing, fun activity, and things like that we've done.
What's your favorite part about teaching?
I always have students randomly ask me, like, Miss Price, who's your favorite? You have to have favorites. And I always tell them the same thing. I'm always like, I like all of you guys because you're all individuals, and I have a favorite thing that I enjoy about each and every one of my students. So honestly, I'd probably say my favorite thing about teaching is just getting to be around so many characters and good people.
If you could change one thing about the teaching profession outside of the pay, because that seems to be the one that everyone talks about. If you could change one thing, maybe inside the classroom.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm rolling in.
Good. If you could change one thing inside the classroom, what do you think that would be? Just as in general.
Whew, that's a toughie. Time. I never seem to have enough time to wrap stuff up or give something more attention. So I would probably change the aspect of time. Also, more time to plan. I would really appreciate more time to just put more effort into my activities and stuff like that.
Last thing, just one bit of advice for the student body.
Don't be afraid to do something that you normally wouldn't do. I think that's something that's helped me out. Like, embrace being uncomfortable, because if you're not uncomfortable, then you're not learning.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you around school.
Thanks.
Thanks, Robert. Now we'll be heading over to Taylor with the Slay of the Week.
I'm here for Slay of the Week. Personally, I just love the black and white combo, the sweater, everything. So just, if you have anything to say about your outfit, do you have anything to say about it?
Yeah, it's matching my science fair project.
Thanks, Taylor. Now we're handing over to the department of the school. Okay.
First of all, I wanted to thank you and everyone else in the cafeteria, because I bet there are so many things you do that might go unnoticed by students, you know. So what does the cafeteria staff take care of at Musselman? So maybe just give like a general overview of it.
Well, we come in at 6:30. We start prepping for breakfast, getting bags ready for the students, special diets. Any kid that has a special diet need, we take care of that.
Nice.
And basically your lunch. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's a big part of every kid's meal and their day. And other than that, it's clean up, put away stock, and then go home.
All right, yeah, that's very important. So, yeah. What would you say is something that students generally don't know about it, if there's anything like that? Or something they take for granted, you know what I mean?
The time it takes to prepare the food, you know,
Yeah,
I mean, there's a
definitely.
lot of hard work that goes into that. We've got to make sure everything's under code.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big deal with the state and, you know, the county. There's a lot of training that goes, you know, with actually working in a kitchen, you know, and then just having a great crew.
Yeah, that's good. That's why we're doing this. We want to like honor each of the departments and kind of like, give you the things you deserve, you know. So, what is something you want us to know about it? Like, if you had anything to say about that.
I want everyone to know that, you know, we love our jobs and we take a lot of time,
Yeah.
you know, and, you know, put a lot of heart into the meals each day. And we want to make sure that the kids like the food.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big deal. And we always want feedback. If something isn't that
Yeah.
great, we want to know, you know, because sometimes maybe we can be a voice of change.
That's good.
You know.
It's really cool to advocate for. Yeah. And what is your favorite part of the job, and which part is hardest, do you think?
My favorite part is having snow days, holidays, and summers off.
Us too.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite. But, you know, just coming in and seeing the kids and you know, honestly, it's a really rewarding job.
Nice.
You know, because we know that we're doing, you know, something great for the community, for the kids, and that sort of thing.
Nice. That's really sweet. So, is there anything you'd like to talk about or add to anything you said?
No, I think we covered it.
All right. Thank you so much for your
You're
time.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That wasn't so bad.
First of all, I want to thank you as the school nurse. I'm sure there's a lot of things you do that might go unnoticed by students. So, what do you as a nurse take care of at Musselman? Maybe give like a general overview of it.
Yeah, so my job is to take care of the students on the health side of things. So if anybody's sick, if there's any emergencies, I'm the one who takes care of that, as well as some kids have daily medication that I also take care of.
Gotcha, nice. What would you say something that students that generally don't know about becoming the school nurse, if there's anything like that?
I would say specifically for my office that it's kind of smaller, so sometimes I do have to have kids wait out in the waiting room, you know, just so I can take care of each kid privately.
Yeah, I think that's really important, you know,
Yeah.
just a private space like that. So, yeah. What is something you want us to know about coming to the nurse's office? That's okay. There's nothing. That's all right.
I guess just be honest would be something to say. If you come in and, if there's something that you don't really want to say or you think you're going to get in trouble, it's just better for me if you're honest, because then I can properly diagnose you and get the right resources to you.
Yeah, that's true, because it's like if you lie about it, then it's not going to make sense, or like they might give you the wrong thing, I feel,
Right,
like that.
yeah.
So what does your day at Musselman generally look like, as in what do you do during average day from the beginning to the end?
So the beginning of my day normally starts with just seeing kids who come in maybe from something that happened on the bus or something that they didn't tell mom or dad about at school that they were feeling sick about. And then the middle of my day is really busy during lunchtime for daily meds and some of my diabetic students. And then I always have the walkie-talkie on me, so any emergency that happens, I respond to. In between that, I also deal with immunizations and making sure everybody's up to date on their vaccines. So stuff like that I think I have to do in between seeing kids.
Okay, this is very important, so it's cool. What is your favorite part of the job, and which part is the hardest?
I actually love that I work at a high school because I feel like I can connect better.
Than with younger students?
Yeah. I think you can relate better to them. I think the hardest part of the job is balancing everything. Like if there's an emergency happening and somebody comes in and their stomach hurts, it's hard to, you have to really prioritize. And so that's the hardest part. And it's such a big school, so it's challenging at times, but yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I have a lot of, what is it? Like, what is the word? Sorry. I have a lot of, I don't know, like admiration. There we go. Admiration for healthcare workers and stuff. I think it's really admirable. So
thank
you so much. And is there anything else you'd like to talk about or add?
My door's always open if anybody has questions, or if you're not feeling good, don't be scared to come in.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time and for everything you do.
Thank you.
Perfect timing.
Today we are here with Coach Thomas, our head coach of our football team at Musselman High School. Why did you choose to coach at Musselman High School?
When I got out of college and I got into coaching, I was from this area, and I wanted to come back, to Berkeley County because I grew up here, and Musselman High School had a lot of tradition, really good school, really good community, and I wanted to be involved in that.
What is your favorite memory of coaching?
A lot of good memories. I'd probably say overall my favorite memory is just kind of the relationship that you form with some players. As I've gotten older and coached here for a long time, I'd probably say, maybe not one memory in specific, but just the relationships that I've formed and kind of getting to see some of those players who I coached at a young age continuing to grow up and have their own families now in their lives.
Why did you choose coaching as a career?
When I was young, I had a lot of coaches make a lot of impact in my life and kind of help me develop and grow into a young man at the time, and then now an adult that I am, and I thought it really helped shape me and teach me life lessons. So I kind of wanted to give back a little bit in the same way and be able to help kids these days just kind of grow up in today's world and have a good influence, and I thought I could do that. So that was really kind of what drew me into coaching.
And what is something you want more people to know about coaching?
Coaching's one of those professions that, it's not just right after school from 3 o'clock till 5 o'clock. Coaching's really an all-day thing. It starts in the morning when you get to school. It goes all day at school, after school into practice. Then when you get home after practice, you watch film, you're getting game plans together, you're working on the weekends. So, I think a lot of people think coaching just a couple hours a day, but really, if you do it right and you care about it, it's 7 days out of the week, and a lot of times it's about 12 hours a day.
And how long do you plan on coaching?
I plan to be at Musselman High School. I love Musselman High School. I love the community. I love the school. I love everything about the school. So, I plan to coach here. I don't know. I don't know if I want to put a number on it for the foreseeable future.
Thank you.
Why did you choose to coach at Musselman High School?
It kind of just fell into my lap. I started in January of 2005, and they needed an extra softball coach, and so I played and just thought I'd give it a chance, and here I am 19 years later still coaching.
Wow. So You started coaching here then?
Right out of college. I graduated in December of 04. January of 05, I started here and just started coaching.
Nice. So what's your favorite memory about coaching?
Probably becoming the head softball coach in 2011 and taking a team that nobody really thought was any good. We only had one pitcher, and we ended up going to state tournament and placing fourth out of 4 teams. But hey, it was something. And then just to piggyback on that, 5 years after that, we were runners-up for a state championship.
Wow, that's really cool. It's always cool, like, when people don't expect you to win, but you do. It's just such a good feeling, you know what I mean?
Defying the expectations.
Yeah,
That's the theme for that year.
Yeah. And I know you said that coaching just fell into your lap. Is there a reason why you chose coaching?
Sports. I've been a part of sports all my life. Nice. My dad was a big influence for myself. He coached me, Little League, things like that. And I just wasn't ready to give up playing.
Yeah.
But there was no options for me to continue to play. So what's the next best thing? Coach, right?
Yeah, that's true. You still have your hand in it and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's something people don't know about coaching?
The hours never stop.
Really? How long do you spend with
it? You have preseason stuff, and weightlifting, and that's like a couple days a week. And then you have flex days where you come in and you practice, go to camp in summer. Uncountless hours of watching film and trying to re-strategize what's going well for you, what's not going well. It's a year-round process, even when it's not actually in season.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that actually too. Yeah. So, thank you for everything you do, and thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for interviewing me.
Yeah.
What are you in charge of in this school?
In this school, I'm a resource LD teacher. So I work with Miss Bennett in science, and then I work with Miss Cook in math. Outside of that, FCA club, I help Mr. Kleppner. The freshman boys basketball coach. I also coach track, long jump. And then I kind of just do whatever is needed around to do it, honestly.
Yeah. What would you say is something that students generally don't know about, if there is anything like that?
That they don't know about what?
They know about you, I'm assuming.
Most people don't know that I went here. So I graduated here in 2013. A lot of the teachers that are still here I had. What else? I got married recently.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I have 2 dogs. I think that's about it. And I played rugby in college at Fairmont. A lot of people don't know that.
All right. What is something you might want us to know about you?
I feel like I'm an easy person to get along with. Good listener. A lot of kids come to me to rant or just tell me how they're doing. A lot of people tell me or check in on me, so I feel like I'm a safe place to talk to with anybody, so I guess that's a good thing.
What does your day at Musselman generally look like?
A day at Musselman usually looks like me going to first period. First, I try to clear the hall down here, and then go to first period. After that, I usually have resource, or planning, actually. 9 times out of 10, I'm covering for another class during my planning period. And then I have science 3rd through 4th, then lunch, and then I have a resource period, which I usually get ready for practice with Coach Hill, get things going. Then 7th period, I have Miss Cook, and then practice until I go home.
What is your favorite part of your job, and what is the hardest part of what you do?
My favorite part of the job, seeing the success of kids. So seeing, being in the PLC, you get to see the immature freshmen, and then you get to see them grow and become a lot smarter and more responsible. So that's a good part. Of course, coaching basketball, I love that. And the hardest part of my job, I would say, turn it off when I go home, because it's just, I feel like I'm just wired with it, especially with basketball. So I gotta go home, I gotta turn it off. So that's probably the hardest part.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about or add?
I think that's it.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Now we'll be heading over to classroom tours with Amia, with Miss Sutherland,
and Mr. Everson, and Tim.
I'm here with Miss Sullivan to ask her questions about her room. What inspired you to decorate your room like this?
There's no real inspiration. I came into this room in 2004. I'm the only teacher that's been in here, and anytime I see something I want to put up, I just put up. So somebody once called me the Tasmanian decorator. So it has a madness, but a method to it as well.
Okay. Would you say that this plays into what you teach?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Would you say that you created this space in favor of your students or yourself?
Oh, totally my students. I want my students to feel comfortable. The only thing I'm stuck with is the number of desks I have to put in the room. If I had my ideal room, it wouldn't be this crowded.
Does this style come from what you teach, or is it just your own personal style?
Mix of both. Definitely both. Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in this room that you find you are very fond of or like a cherished possession?
There's a couple of things, but I think I have a sign here that says the Beehive. My first 3 years teaching, I taught in Africa, and my maiden name is Brathwaite, and so the kids used to call me Miss B. And when I lived in Africa, because it was a boarding school, people would come to my house, and so my friend had this made for my birthday, and so that's been in every classroom I've had ever since I started teaching.
That's great. Is there anything in this room that is there anything else that you want to show off or talk about?
Sure, I can take you around for a couple things. I'll try not to take too long. I like to travel, and because of that, I have some little pieces. I have a picture of my first classroom that I ever taught in an African frame that I bought. But you can see things from Russia, Africa, different places like that. And then, of course, over the years, there's little things from my personal life and my professional life that I have. I do have a picture of when I was on the Ellen DeGeneres show. And I also have a signed photo from Gary Sinise for Musselman High School. We asked him to come to one of our Veterans Days. Couldn't make it, but he sent a signed picture. Because I teach multicultures, I try to have a lot of cultural elements in my room. So again, there's lots of tchotchkes and knickknacks. Everything has a story, and I'm not going to go through all of it. Back here, these are a mix of things students and teachers have given me over the years. Plus, I brought in some of my old toys because, it's just kind of fun to see some of the retro stuff that happens. So that's kind of what that is. My desk has a lot of bobbleheads. Kind of started off as a joke. I bought this one, the first one, and over time, and so when people come to my desk to talk to me, they tend to do that. The main thing in my room is the couch. I set it up so students can take a turn sitting on it. Not everybody wants to, but when I first started teaching, I wanted to have a couch in my classroom. I feel like it brings a level of comfort, and it is nice once in a while that you can sit on a couch. I have a wall of students that I've had over the years, and it's getting pretty full. But I also don't have a lot of students that give actual pictures anymore. And if you really look close here, you might recognize somebody. That is Mr. Welsh. There's also a couple of other people in here you might know and recognize because I've taught a lot of your teachers in this school. But those are just a few things I have. I guess one other thing I want to point out, my dad, when I first started teaching, I asked my dad to make me a podium, and he did woodworking. And now that I think about Most Precious, probably I should have gone straight to this. But my dad built this podium for me. And actually built a couple other podiums in the school, but he built this especially for me. And so this has been a big part of my class for a long time. Like I said, there's lots of other stuff, and I could go through more, but those are some of the main things from my room.
Your time in letting us show off your room today.
No problem. Thank you.
I'm Taylor Winstead, and we're here with Mr. Everson to get a tour of his room. So, first of all, what inspired you to decorate your room like this?
Well, when I came in here, it was your standard, white walls, ceilings, floors, kind of not a place I wanted to spend a lot of time. So I set out to create an aesthetic experience, so it was something special when you walked in here.
Yeah, that's good. I noticed, when I'm in class, I like it when the teacher decorates the classroom. It matters a lot, so that's great. So, would you say that this plays into what you teach?
Absolutely, yeah. It's in the visual arts, there is a lot of actual art in here, and this class is all about aesthetics. It is about responding to what we see. So surrounding yourself with an experience, with something that you can get into, is absolutely playing into the class.
Yeah, that's good. Would you say that you created the space in favor of students or yourself, or a combination of both?
More about the subject matter than myself or the students,
Yeah.
but obviously I'm the one who spends the most time here, so it is catered to my peculiarities.
Yeah, and do you have any special objects that are yours, like any?
Oh my! A lot of this stuff is either stuff that's I've collected over the years, gifts from friends, a lot of artwork that was done by college buddies, friends of mine, folks I know, things like that. Yeah, there's quite a few things around.
Yeah, nice. So, does this come from what you teach, or is it your own personal style? Both. I know you said that is the subject matter. So.
Very much both.
Yeah.
There's a reason I picked this subject matter to teach. It's something that I respond to aesthetics. I respond to visual stimulation. So a lot of this is built off the subject matter itself, and a lot of it is things I like to look at. Right, the way I spend my life. You'll see a lot of my gear and equipment in here because not only is it good looking, but it's mine.
Yeah, I say the way a person decorates says a lot about them.
For sure.
Person, yeah. So is there anything in this room, just one thing that you're very fond of, or like a cherished possession?
Oh man, like I said, there's a lot of gifts from friends and family, kind of heirloom objects.
But like, if you had to choose one.
Check this one out.
Okay.
The fish up here, his name is Leonidas, was caught by my grandfather in Alaska in 1973, I believe the year was. But he's been with me a long time, and I finally brought him in here, and the kids got to dig. Yeah.
Very good. Is there anything else you want to show off or talk about?
No, you guys are welcome to take a look around and see what's what.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Amia and Taylor.
Now we'll be checking out the Stardust Diner with Mr. Miller and the performers.
I heard this was your second annual showing. Where did this idea come from?
All right, so we're so for the Stardust Diner this year. Last year we did it more for it was a Broadway thing, and it was in November last year. We decided, everyone loves the holidays, so we're going to do it in the cafeteria on a Sunday, this Sunday, December 10th, 1 to 4 p.m., or 1 and 4 p.m., and there's going to be singing, there's going to be solos, and it's just a lot of fun. We wanted something that will both help us raise money, but also be something that everyone enjoys and has fun, and a lot of people loved it last year.
Do you wish to expand on this further on the upcoming years?
Well, we've already expanded. So last year I think we did about 6 songs. This year, because everyone loves Christmas songs, holiday songs, and so this year I think we're doing like 11 or 12. Last year we had about 4 or 5 soloists. This year I think we have about 12 soloists. So there's just so much music. So you're just going to be sitting there. And what I want it to be is kind of how how it was like when you're just watching a concert in the summer. Like you just sit there, you talk, you eat, and then you get to listen to like your favorite holiday carols.
I know that show choir does a lot. How does this fit into the schedule?
We definitely do a lot. This is the fun time. I'll say, okay, so we have like 2 big competition seasons, and this is like, it's like an Oreo sandwich, okay? So the actual cookie, the actual cookie, Oreo part of the cookie part, that's our competitions. We've got our show choir competition specific. In the fall, we've got our color guard, choir guard competition. So that's the cookie. And like, look, let's be real. When you're eating an Oreo cookie, you like the cream in the middle. And that's the fun holiday stuff where we get to sing holiday carols. We get to wear we get to wear ugly Christmas sweaters. Some people are wearing reindeer onesies. It's just supposed to be a lot of fun. If we were to compete and focus just on competing for all that time, it just wouldn't be as fun. So this kind of gives us be able to blow off some steam.
Could you walk me through the steps of what it took to set up this?
You have to First, you have to make sure that you can get the cafeteria, and then secondly, we have lovely boosters, lovely parents that are willing to help us, and so they come in and they're going to be getting here at 10 a.m. They're going to be missing their church service, which is a big deal for a lot of people. They're going to be missing their church service, so that way they could prepare the food. There's people that are going to be decorating the cafeteria and holiday material. This year I've had to prepare more Christmas songs than I normally do, because normally I have one concert, but this year we have 3 all in that week. So we have a Stardust, we have the in-school Christmas concert, then we have a concert for the parents. And so there's more music that we have to prepare for. So there's just a lot of things. We have to make sure that we order all the right things. We have to make sure that the biggest thing is making sure everyone knows, because it's going to look seamless when we do it. It's going to be like, okay, this person knows they get to sing first. Okay, now they go. So you got to work on that sort of logistic stuff too.
What's the process of like the songs that you guys chose and like the food that you chose?
Well, so for those that there is, if you go to New York, there is a Stardust Diner in New York, and so the inspiration behind this dinner is when you go to that diner, the Stardust Diner in New York, you'll actually eat, and then the aspiring Broadway actors and actresses, they'll actually sing for you while you're eating at this diner. That's what it's known for. They are the waiters and waitresses. And so we use that as an inspiration. And so then to pick the holiday songs, I wanted to pick things that were a cappella, that were easier to do in a cafeteria, because sometimes when you try to transport a piano, it doesn't have that. So a lot of the music will be a cappella or karaoke tracks. And then I wanted to do like songs that people know, because nobody wants to come to a Christmas concert and hear obscure Christmas songs that they've never heard of before. Nobody wants to hear that. So we had to make sure that everything we picked was good.
Do you enjoy doing this event?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. This event was fun last year because what I really like is that it's like social. So like sometimes people think of choir as very stuffy. You have to sit there silently while the choir stands on stage and sings, and you're not allowed to talk, and you have to politely clap. I don't want that for this. I hardly ever do that for concerts either. But for this, I wanted people to just sit there, bring their family, bring their friends. There's going to be Santa. There's going to be the Grinch. There's going to be a hot cocoa bar. We're going to be selling chocolate. Like, we're going to be singing. And it's just, you'll be able to talk so it's more of like a social event as opposed to just like a boring, stuffy choir concert that a lot of people think is standard.
Is there any other things you would like to mention to me or the audience?
It's a good fun time. It's a good fun atmosphere, and really we just hope I see you all there.
Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you guys for interviewing me. I really appreciate it.
Second year, how would you say it's been improved upon since the first one?
I think there's going to be a lot more selection as far as like music goes. It's going to be Halloween. It's going to be Christmas themed. Or it's holiday themed because it's our holiday event, obviously. But I think there's going to be a lot more variety of songs this year.
Probably nothing.
Well, I feel like the second time, it's definitely got a lot more people to be like involved in, which also means there's like definitely a lot more room for like engagement from like the audience, which is always really fun.
And we're serving better drinks this year, so.
So since it's your first time, what are you hoping to achieve?
I'm hoping to do great at singing, and I'm hoping to make Miller proud.
Hoping to achieve, honestly, just a fun show. Definitely, I don't know really what to expect, but I'm just glad that we can do more stuff like with show choir out of the actual show. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just hope to have a good time. Pretty much.
I hope that I put on a great performance and I shine like the star I really am.
I'm hoping just to do well at the solo and for everybody there to have fun.
What do you like about this event?
The choreography. It's really cool.
Well, I do like that it's holiday themed. It's nice to, I feel like that brings everybody in a little bit and stuff like that.
It gives us a chance to raise money for trips that are going to take like $5,000 per trip. So yeah.
I like to hear the solos and all that type of stuff. I like to see people sing. I like to see people dance.
This year is Christmas themed, so we're having Santa and the Grinch. So I'm really excited for that, and a hot chocolate bar.
I like that it's a really casual concert, and there's a lot less pressure on the singers because everyone's kind of focused on eating their food and less on the people singing.
I think my favorite part is always just been the people.
I like the food.
Anything that you dislike about this event?
Not really.
Oh.
I mean, I've never done it, so I don't really expect, but if you ask me next year, I'll have it.
Okay.
Having to talk to people, because we have to, greet people. It's great.
What? You can't ask those questions.
The dressing isn't that great.
No, not really. I thought it was really fun.
Is there anything that you guys would like to see be done next year?
Well, once I get my actual experience in, I'll probably, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like if we all wore like some really ugly Christmas sweaters, it'd be something. It'd be a little silly.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. Yeah.
I think the one thing that could definitely happen next year is if we have like a ball pit and we have like a lot more fireworks and lasers. I think that would be really cool and it would help a lot. Yeah.
Probably the timing of everything, because it was kind of everywhere, and there was a lot of just empty spaces of background music where we could have been singing to get through things faster.
So you had to film on this event. You want to tell us about that?
It was really scary, but it actually went really well because I've already done it a couple times, so it was a little easier, but still, I mean, getting up there in front of people it's scary.
Do you enjoy doing this event?
Absolutely.
100%.
I really like it, especially, again, because it's Christmas themed, and I like hearing the amazing talent that comes from each individual choir student. And yeah, we're just underrated.
Do you enjoy doing this event?
It was fun last year. I wouldn't say it was the greatest, but I think it was fun. So I think it's gonna have fun again.
Okay. And it raises money, so.
Yeah, but anything that raises money.
It's amazing.
Anything for money.
Yay.
We love money.
Is there anything else you guys would like to mention about this event?
We hope you liked it.
Yeah. We definitely did work on it a good bit. So we're just excited to get this thing done and get it rolling and get money.
Money. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun to be in. It's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. Hopefully, and food. So yeah,
it's
food.
A fun fundraiser.
Yeah, fun fundraisers. Yeah.
Okay.
This is pretty good.
Yeah, we love fun. You love fun fundraisers.
Thank you for your guys' time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
I'll be really, I'm really happy that I did this.
Thank you so much for your time, guys. Thank you for answering my questions.
Support Kaleidoscope Show Choir, please.
I hope you went to the Stardust Diner.
Okay, thank you so much for your guys' time.
Nope.
Thank you for your time.
See you guys next time on the Mighty Musselman Newscast.